Welcome to the show. Today is Saturday, November 16th, 2019, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting live from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks the beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics that affect your quality of life, including wellness, health care, elder care, end-of-life care, and, of course, caregiver support. We have another great show for you today. Joining me is Kari Benson. She is the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we'll be talking about the great work that Kari and her organization does to ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs. And the reason they do that is to help you age well and live well. We are looking forward to answering your calls today. If you have any questions, please give us a call during the show. We get many calls and text messages after the show's done, and we can't help you with an answer at that point. So now there's two ways to get your questions to us. The first one is by calling the radio station at 952-946-6205, and our friendly and talented show producer, Eric, will be answering your call, and he can help you get your question live on the air. Or, if you prefer, you can directly text us your question to our radio show phone that I am holding in my hand. For those of you who are watching this show on the AM 950 webpage, the Facebook page, here's the phone. The radio show phone number is 612-999-3426. So one more time, to ask your question live on the air, call Eric at 952-946-6205, or you can text us your question to 612-999-3426. And we'll give out those phone numbers again during the show. But please don't wait till the end of the show to ask your question. We receive many questions, and many times are the same questions that are left on our radio show phone after the show's ended. So please call in if you've got a question. And this is an important show. We've been looking to get Kari on the show here for a while, and we have some important information to share with you guys about making sure that you can live well and age well. As a reminder, you can always leave a voice or text message anytime on our radio show phone number. That's 612-999-3426. Listen, we appreciate hearing your questions, comments, and suggestions. Please continue to send us topics you'd like for us to cover or guests you would like for us to have on future shows. We also appreciate hearing if you're a new listener to the show, and we had several new listeners text us last week, and I really appreciate you doing that. You can find the podcast recordings for all of our shows on the AM 950 website by clicking the On Demand button and then clicking on our show logo, Living Healthy and Aging Well. We are adding new listeners each week, so I want to mention the purpose of this show is to bring you specialists, experts, and people with a passion for helping others from across the health and wellness fields to provide insights and recommendations on how to navigate the complexities and challenges of managing both you and your family's health and quality of life. We also focus on our senior population and how we can help you prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential to supporting our aging population. All right, hey, a couple quick things here, folks. One, I had mentioned on previous shows about the annual fundraiser that is being done by the Neuroscience Institute, and I want to thank them. I was there as the MC last week at their annual fundraising event, which was located in Bloomington, and it was a fabulous, fabulous event. It was sold out. It was an amazing crowd. We had amazing attendees there. It was a lot of fun. And, of course, the keynote speaker, which I had mentioned on previous shows, this year was Dr. Carolyn Leaf. She is a neuroscientist, author, and internationally renowned specialist in metacognitive and cognitive neuropsychology. So it was a great event. So again, I want to thank everybody who attended and everyone who gave generously. They raised a lot of money to help underprivileged people get the treatment that they really need. So thank you so much for that. And I also want to thank the Neuroscience Institute for having me be the MC. That was a lot of fun. And thank you to Dr. Christine Stevie, who is the founder of the Institute, and for having me there. Also, I do want to mention that right after today's show, I'm going to be running down to Lakeville and going to be attending the grand opening of the Beehive Homes of Lakeville. This is a memory care and assisted living community that has 20 first-floor suites, and it's a brand new community. It's a smaller setting, which allows for great personal care. And the grand opening is today for the public from noon until 3. So as soon as the show is over here at 1 o'clock, I will be hightailing it down to Lakeville to attend the grand opening today. Now, the Beehive Homes of Lakeville is located at 20159 Iberia Avenue. That's spelled Iberia in Lakeville. So if you just go online and search for Beehive Homes of Lakeville grand opening today, you will get the information there. So they're serving pizzas, and they have a waffle bar going, and live music and tours. So if you're interested and you live in the South Metro, please stop by the Beehive Homes of Lakeville grand opening from noon until 3 today. For more information, you can call them at 952-683-1299. Once again, 952-683-1299. All right, let's talk to Kari. I am so excited about this. We, as everyone knows here who listens to the show, we really take a great interest in our aging population, our seniors, and we've been trying to get Kari on the show here for a while. She is the executive director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we'll talk about what that board does here in a moment. But we're going to be talking about the great work that Kari and her organization does to ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs in order to age well and live well. So, Kari, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ken.
Before we start, though, I do want to thank Janine Nisler. She is the Media Relations Manager in the Communications Office with the Minnesota Board of Aging, and she was instrumental in getting you and I together this morning to talk and get you on the show. So thank you, Janine, for your great work. All right. Well, Kari, let's start. We have more information to talk about than we have time to talk about it. So we're going to have already have you rescheduled here. Get Janine to get you rescheduled for a future show. But before we get into it, the audience loves to hear about you and your background and how you got interested in helping the Board on Aging work with ensuring that the elders in our communities have these great resources.
Thanks so much, Ken. It's really a pleasure to be with you today. And I really got started in the field of aging or aging services, or as some people might think of it, long-term care or long-term services and supports many years ago when I started volunteering. I just volunteered at a nursing home. I volunteered with hospice. I volunteered in other local agencies to work specifically with and spend time with older adults. And I've always had a passion and an interest in really connecting with older people in my life. And then that really was enhanced by personal experience I had. I think many of us who work in the field of aging have had personal experience supporting our older family members, relatives, friends, neighbors, and really getting the joy of making that personal connection and really being able to help them out. If it's just helping out around the house, helping them with some personal care activities, maybe getting them to the doctor, a ride to the doctor, or what have you. But I really had that experience with my grandparents, and that spurred me on to an even greater interest in working in the field. I also experienced the system of services and some limitations that we had in place quite a few years ago that really limited the ability of my father, who was aging and needing some services, really limited his ability to stay at home. And so this was quite a few years ago, and I saw that there were opportunities that if I could be a part of the work of really trying to build up the services that are available to really make it easier for any one of us to get in touch with people who could help, who could direct us to services in our community, and who could just be a part of helping any one of us live well at home while we age and experience potentially, some functional limitations, cognitive limitations. I really had a passion for that, and quickly learned about the Minnesota Board on Aging, and wanted to be a part of the work that they do.
Well, let's do this. The music is cueing us out here. Eric's keeping us on schedule. So I want to just say it's time for a quick break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Kari Benson. She's the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we're talking about the great work she and her organization are doing. So please stay with us and get your questions ready.
I'm attorney Rachel Schroman of Schroman Law, and I've got you covered. I provide trusted legal advice in wills and trusts, supplemental and special needs trusts, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, probate, financing long-term care, medical assistance planning, and prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. These are areas of law that are intensely personal in nature, and I don't take the responsibility of providing counsel around such issues lightly. Learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Wendy, great news.
What's the great news, Robert?
Hey, we're on Wednesdays now at 5 p.m.
That's great. What's the name of the show?
Pilot's Playhouse? I don't know.
Pilot's Playhouse? That's terrible.
That is terrible. Hey, everyone should listen in and see what we come up with.
So what's the new show about?
Well, we'll have local and national news and guests that you don't hear anywhere else.
Wednesdays at 5.
See you then.
Is your business being pulled under by a tide of constant threats? Hackers, ransomware, security breaches? What if you had people who could navigate you to safe water, then teach you how to swim? Hi, Mark Sommerfeld of Rymark with a unique offer, a free security assessment. We'll uncover hidden threats, hidden costs, and hidden opportunities to help navigate your business. Call 651-328-8900 or go to rymarkit.com to schedule your free security assessment.
Hi, this is Paul Metz inviting you to listen to a great new episode on the Wall of Power Radio Hour. We feature 3 great women from the Minsky Theater. They are a Northeast-based theatrical company. They combine fire, burlesque, acting, music, and more. Every weekend, they've been around for 3 years. We get the whole story and talk about where they started and where they're going. The Minsky Theater on the Wall of Power Radio Hour, Saturday at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Finding the best foods the Twin Cities has to offer is easy with eatlocalminnesota.com. Offering the top local and independently owned restaurants, eatlocalminnesota.com has everything from burger joints to cocktails and fine dining. Crooner's Lounge and Supper Club invites you to check out their beautiful facilities for your next special occasion. Book your wedding reception, retirement party, business dinner, or other special event with confidence, knowing their expert staff and award-winning chef will make it a big hit with your guests. Call today to get a quote, 763-571-9020. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking cuisine, the Great Wall Chinese restaurant has been a local favorite since 1981. They offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and Peking duck. The Great Wall restaurant is located off 45th and France, with takeout available too. More at greatwallrestaurant.us.
right. Welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and today is Saturday, November 16th, 2019. If you are listening to this show on a later date, that means it's being replayed as one of our best of shows, so we cannot take your phone calls or answer your questions live on the air. However, you can always leave a voice or text message on our radio show phone number anytime, 24/7, and we will try to provide you an answer to your question on a future show. Once again, our radio show phone number is 612-999-3426. So if you have a question today, text us on that line. Otherwise, if you want your question live on the air, call the radio show station here, which is 952-946-6205. So joining me today in studio is Kari Benson. She's the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we'll be talking about the great work Kari and her organization does to help ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs in order to age well and live well. Before we get back into our conversation with Kari, I want to mention this radio program is brought to you each week by Minnesota Hospice, an independent, physician-owned medical practice serving local Minnesota communities for over 11 years with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. Their number is 952-898-1022, or check them out online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's jump back into our conversation, Kari. Well, first of all, our listeners always want to know who they can call if they have more questions and get a hold of your organization. What's the best number for them to contact your organization at the Minnesota Board on Aging?
We absolutely want people to know that they can call the Senior Linkage Line, which is 1-800-333-2433. And we really encourage anybody to call, an older adult, a family member, friend, neighbor, service providers, others in the community, to find out about services for older adults, services for family caregivers in their community, no matter where in the state. They can call this toll-free number. Actually, you can call it from anywhere in the country and find out information. And you can also call that number to get help with your questions regarding health insurance, and in particular, Medicare.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that here during the show. This is the open enrollment time, and so this is when I know your phones ring a lot, and people are calling in if they have questions. And it's a very complicated area, open enrollment for Medicare. There's several options, and things were changing here in Minnesota with the cost plans being sunsetted out and the Advantage plans coming in. So we won't get too much into that specifically, but if you have questions, please contact that number that Kari gave you. And then I do want to talk, though. You were talking about how you got into your interest in the aging and older adult issues, and it's interesting how so many people I run across either have that passion from kind of the start of their career, or they have some type of event that occurs during their career, and they make a 180-degree change, and they go into the healthcare area or somewhere where they're helping and being a part of changing and supporting our elder population. So that's great to hear your background on that, and why I'm so interested in talking to you about the topics today. Let's talk about the Board on Aging. It's not something that everybody knows about. And could you give us some background on how the Board of Aging came to be and what their mission is and how they can be helpful for Minnesotans?
I would love to, Ken. Thank you. The Minnesota Board on Aging has actually been around since 1956, and it is a 25-member governor-appointed board. So these are individuals who come from all walks of life, from every community area in the state, every region in the state, and they come together to guide the work that we do as their staff team and that we do in partnership with our regional area agencies on aging. And so the Board on Aging is the designated state advocate for aging, for older adults, in terms of advocating for policies and programs that most effectively meet our needs as we grow older, but also are responsive to the needs of older adults from a wide range of cultural and ethnic communities, as well as American Indian elders. So they have a big charge, and they come to it with passion that often stems from their own personal experience, if not maybe professional experience. But again, it's such a wide range of perspectives that they bring to bear. Two of their programs, their direct service programs that I want to make sure people know about, is a senior linkage line, which I will talk a little bit more about later, I believe, but also the Ombudsman for Long-Term Care. The Office for Ombudsman for Long-Term Care is a program of the Minnesota Board on Aging, but it is an autonomous entity. They are the advocate for individuals who are receiving long-term care services. So if you are or have a family member who is living in a nursing home, assisted living, who is receiving home care, you can contact the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Office if you have a problem or concern that you need help with, if you have concerns regarding your services, if you have a concern regarding maybe transitions in your care and your services. You can use the senior linkage line number to get in touch with the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Office. So we like to make that as streamlined as possible. So you can, again, call 1-800-333-2433 to get in touch with a long-term care ombudsman in your area. And again, they are a consumer advocate, so they will work with you, they will support you in getting the answers you need to questions about your services, but also making sure that you are able to advocate for your needs and preferences. So I wanted to make sure that people knew about that program also.
Yeah, and that's taken more of a highlight in recent years, and I can see it being an important aspect because of the growth in long-term care. Communities are being built every day. In fact, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm going to a brand new one here for a memory care and assisted living in Lakeville right after the show. So it's important that people know they do have someone to help them if they have questions or problems.
Absolutely.
And the nice thing too is that you mentioned two of those services that the board oversees: the senior linkage line and the ombudsman for long-term care. And they have the same phone number, though. Can get to both of those services.
Yes, they work very closely together to refer people back and forth, and so yes, just knowing that one number can get you access to the information you need.
Fantastic. All right, Eric is cueing us out here with the music. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Kari Benson. She's the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we're talking about the great work that Kari and her organization does to ensure older Minnesotans are effectively served by the state, local policies, and programs. Please stay with us.
You can't go through a day without hearing about healthcare reform. St. Paul Corner Drug is here to help you navigate the ever-changing healthcare landscape. We are your advocate in getting much-needed prescription medication covered under your insurance plan. Need to choose a different plan? There is no reason to feel like you are drowning in the system. St. Paul Corner Drug can make simple work out of finding you a plan that best suits your needs. You can rest assured at St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
Wendy, great news.
What's the great news, Robert?
Hey, we're on Wednesdays now at 5 p.m.
That's great. What's the name of the show?
Pilot's Playhouse? I don't know.
Pilot's Playhouse? That's terrible.
That is terrible. Hey, everyone should listen in and see what we come up with.
So what's the new show about?
Well, we'll have local and national news and guests that you don't hear anywhere else.
Wednesdays at 5.
See you then.
I'm John Peterson of Ferndale Market, and I'm the third generation to grow turkeys on our family farm in Cannon Falls. We've grown them the same way since 1939, free range and without antibiotics. We're proud of the way our turkey tastes naturally, so we never add fillers or basting solutions, just 100% pure turkey. And we're proud to remain an independent family farm. Looking for an extra special addition to this year's Thanksgiving feast? Our fresh, never frozen turkeys remove the hassle of thawing and can be picked up just days before your celebration. Available at natural food stores across the region. Reserve your fresh, free-range Thanksgiving turkey for pickup at our store right on our farm in scenic Cannon Falls or at one of our retail partners. For more information on finding our Ferndale Market Thanksgiving turkey near you, visit us at ferndalemarket.com. That's ferndalemarket.com. Thank you for your support of local foods and farmers. We'll hope to see you at Ferndale Market soon. ferndalemarket.com.
Are you thinking about buying or selling a house or just want to know what might be going on with one of your biggest investments? Then why not become a house geek? Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with Bricks Real Estate and host of the Twin Cities Real Estate Show here on the station with your Market Minute. 3.31 is the average number of showings per week per listing in the median sale price range here in the Twin Cities. This is up over last year and is a key early indicator of demand in the marketplace. The median sale price is up 6.5% over the same time last year, which currently sits at $277K. The 30-year conventional interest rate is at around 3.57%. This is down slightly over last week. So what does this mean for sellers? Interest rates have fallen back and buyer activity has increased. The buyer activity is a bit slower in Minneapolis and St. Paul. However, in the suburbs, it is still a seasonal seller's market. For buyers, it is no time to sit on your hands if you see a home that you like. It is a faster market, so the early bird gets the worm. Thinking about making a move? Then check us out online anytime at housegeeks.com.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Eric Nelson. Today will be mostly cloudy with a high near 45. Tonight, rain's possible after 3 a.m. with a low around 36. Sunday, cloudy skies with a high near 38 and a low of 27. Monday will be partly sunny with a high of 39 and a low of 31. EatLocalMinnesota.com's restaurant of the week is Hazel's Northeast, offering classically inspired, creatively prepared comfort food. This restaurant has scratch dishes rooted in over 50 years of family tradition. Check them out at the corner of 29th and Johnson in Northeast Minneapolis or see the full menu at EatLocalMinnesota.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and today is Saturday, November 16th, 2019. And joining me today in studio is Kari Benson. She is the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we are talking about the great work that Kari and her organization does to ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs. And the whole point of this is to make sure that people can age well and live well. Before we get back to our conversation, I want to mention to you that this radio program is brought to you in part each week by the team at Genetic Health RX. These folks specialize in providing DNA testing to ensure the medications you are taking or are planning to take are the best ones for your unique genetic profile. You know, avoiding medications your body cannot use correctly may help to reduce potential negative drug side effects. The team at Genetic Health RX provides your doctor with a personalized medication management program, and they do this by using a simple, one-time, pain-free test that is covered by Medicare and most insurance plans. This is so important, folks. If you're taking medications or multiple medications, you want to get your DNA tested to make sure that you have the right genetic profile to metabolize the drugs you're taking. So if you want more information about this is really important. Call the folks at Genetic Health RX at 612-991-9930. Once again, 612-991-9930. Now, just so you know, folks, if you do miss any of the phone numbers that we give out during the show, you can always text us that question on our radio show phone number that's available 24/7. And that number is 612-999-3426. Also, I want to mention, if you are suffering from chronic ailments that may be affecting your quality of life, or maybe you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and have you tried everything to try and feel better, or your loved one feel better, and you don't know where to turn for help? Well, there is help for you. The team at Sano Wellness Center, located in Bloomington, just off 494 and Penn Avenue, specializes in neurologic issues, and they can offer you guidance in helping identify the root cause of your health problems. And they do this by using state-of-the-art technologies and therapies that actually allow your body to heal naturally. They work with all age ranges, from adults to children, including professional athletes. Through their combination of safe and effective natural health care therapies, they achieve consistent success in assisting their clients in restoring their health and maintaining overall mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. You regularly get your vision checked, right? Your hearing checked. You get your teeth checked twice a year, right? And other annual exams. But have you ever considered getting your brain checked? Find out how well your brain is working by making an appointment with Dr. Christine Stevie at the Sano Wellness Center. Mention you heard it on my show on AM 950 and receive a 50% discount on their brain assessment services. Their phone number is 952-681-2916. Once again, that phone number is 952-681-2916. Or also visit them online at sanowc.care. That's SANOWC.care. And again, if you missed that, feel free to text me on the radio show phone, and I will get that out to you. Remember, when your brain is working, your body responds. All right, Kari, let's get back into this conversation. We just are scratching the surface of the services and the important things that the Board on Aging does here. So let's, we've been talking about a lot the last couple segments here about you, about the board, and how important it is that they're supporting what I think is one of the best things available for seniors and people that are helping the seniors. It could be their children, is that senior linkage line. Would you give us that phone number one more time on how people can get help with aging issues, including right now the open enrollment questions that they may have at this point? Would you give us that phone number one more time?
Absolutely. It's 1-800-333-2433.
All right. And so we were talking about what the Board of Aging is responsible for. Let's continue to talk about that. We were talking initially here, we just started to talk about the board acts kind of as an advocate. Let's go through some of the things that the board oversees and does for older Minnesotans.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, they have an important role at the state level in terms of their advocacy regarding state and local policies and programs to support each of us as we grow older and want to age well and live well at home. They also do have a very important role that really comes to life through the senior linkage line as an advisor. And that role relates most specifically to the service and the assistance that you can receive through the senior linkage line regarding Medicare. And since right now is Medicare open enrollment time, and that ends in just a few weeks on December 7th, we want to make sure that people know that they can call the senior linkage line for help regarding their Medicare open enrollment. We also do just want to note that there have been challenges this year. You know, as you mentioned, Ken, earlier, that open enrollment for Medicare is complex and confusing no matter what for each of us. So there are so many options, and they do change at least somewhat every year. And so it's hard for any one of us to really understand what is the best option for me and how to go about figuring that out. But this year in particular, it's been even more challenging. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they launched a new online plan finder tool that we're supposed to be using to find Medicare options, including Medicare Part D plans and Medicare Advantage plans. But it's been pretty problematic since its launch. So we've seen, and I'm sure your listeners, some of them have experienced that the drug pricing has been wrong or it's not reliable. Plan information is not always accurate on there, so it's hard to make an educated decision about which plan is best for you. Many formularies for the plans are wrong, so beneficiaries don't know if their drugs will be covered. So while this is an important tool, and we're working with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to fix the tool, time is running short. So it is even more critical for people to call the senior linkage line at 1-800-333-2433, where they can talk to someone who can really walk through that with them and help them get through the process to identify an option, even though some of the tools aren't working as well as we would hope.
Right. In fact, you mentioned that the time is running out. People only have until December 7th to make their decision on which plan they're going to enroll for the next year. And I know with all of the turmoil that's been going on here with the launch of the Plan Finder tool, people, don't be shy. Call them. And what are the hours that they're available for people to call in?
They are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They do have an online chat option, and people can leave messages as well. So we do ramp up our staffing, and it's actually, I'll have to give a shout out to our area agencies on aging, the board's regional partners, as they are the ones who are staffing the regional call centers that make up the senior linkage line. And so each of the area agencies on aging, and here in the Twin Cities area, it's a metropolitan area agency on aging, and they are staffing up both in terms of staff and volunteers to be able to talk to you either when you call directly or to follow up with you as you have questions. You can also access information regarding Medicare and other community resources if you go to our website. The board's website is www.minnesotahelp.info. And so that is a site that provides information regarding services in our communities to help us live well at home as we age, but also can provide links to help you more easily get information related to Medicare.
Okay. So that MinnesotaHelp.info, that's overseen by the Minnesota Board on Aging.
Correct.
Okay. So that's the connection with that website. It's a very nice website. As you said, you can find these popular topics or go in the search bar and just type in what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And we continue to work continuously to make it as easy as possible for people to find information. And it is quite a treasure trove because we have information, of course, related to aging, and to services and resources that are important to any one of us as we grow older. But it also has information for families and children, people with disabilities, as well as just basic community services like transportation. And so, yes, please take advantage of the information and resources you can get in touch with on MinnesotaHelp.info.
Okay, that's great. And also you have the Minnesota Board on Aging is also a great site, and that's mnaging.org, mnaging.org. So that has also a lot of resources and links and things as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And as you mentioned, at the Metropolitan Area Agency on Aging, which helps the senior linkage line, that is also a great website to use as well. But if you have any questions, folks, call the senior linkage line. They can help direct you or answer your questions, and that's 1-800-333-2433. We've got about a minute left here, Kari, on this segment. I'm just curious, what other things does the Board of Aging oversee or help support?
We support a network of services in each of our local communities to help us live well and age well at home. And so that includes chore, homemaker services, transportation, but it also does include a range of services to support family members or friends who are caregiving. And so that's a growing area for us and a very high priority for the board.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we are nearing the end of this segment here. It's time for a short break, folks. Now, if you have any questions for Kari about aging or help on the aging topics we've been talking about, please call the show here at 952-946-6205. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Kari Benson. She's the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we're talking about the great work that she and her organization does to ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs in order to age well and live well. Please stay with us.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
When you need legal assistance, let the Hennepin County Bar Association help you find the right attorney. They have professional, experienced referral counselors who can connect you to vetted attorneys practicing in a wide variety of areas, including employment, divorce, custody and support, bankruptcy, taxes, and much more. Take the stress out of finding a lawyer. Call 612-752-6666 or search for Hennepin County Bar Association. The right call for the right lawyer.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
There are so many times in life when it's important to have a plan. I'm attorney Rachel Schroman, and I can tell you from experience that so much pain can be prevented with an estate plan or an arrangement for long-term care costs. I work with families with many different dynamics and budgets, and my goal is always to give them peace of mind while helping them protect their legacy. Learn more about me at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
All right, we are coming to you. Welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and today is Saturday, November 16th, 2019. And joining me today in the main studio of the AM 950 radio station is Kari Benson. She is the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging. And we are talking about the great work that Kari and her organization does to ensure that older Minnesotans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs in order to age well and live well. So, Kari, we've got kind of the final segment here, and just want to check and see if we have any calls and any texts here. We did have a call. It was talking about a question about transportation services.
Yeah, specifically, Ken, she was asking about transportation services that are available to people who might not qualify for low incomes driving, but don't necessarily have a ton of money to spend.
Got it. Okay, great. And I see that I also had a text from someone about the kind of the same thing there. So, Kari, transportation is huge. People have a hard time getting around. They, as we get older, it's more difficult to get from place A to point B. We need to get access to grocery stores, to medical appointments, all kinds of things. How does the Minnesota Board on Aging, help support that area?
Absolutely, Ken. It is a very, very important service area for any one of us who is experiencing functional limitations and just needing to get around. And so what we are very proud of is our work through the area agencies on aging and really through the many local community providers that we fund. They are able to provide rides, most of them provided by volunteers that can pick up an older individual from their home and bring them to where they need to go. So whether that be a doctor's appointment or another location in the community, and they are available, the transportation services are available to people regardless of income. So we operate most typically the local programs through a sliding fee scale, so to speak. And so people can just call the senior linkage line at 1-800-333-2433, and the staff person that they talk to will connect them with a program in their local community.
And that's an important point I want to mention is that senior linkage line, that's actually regionalized. So when people are calling it, say, in the Duluth area or the Brainerd area or Mankato, wherever it is, they'll get a kind of a local regional group that can really focus on their area.
They really can. The senior linkage line staff, no matter where they're located in this state, they share the same database. Frankly, it's a database that populates our minnesotahelp.info website too. And so they're able to really hone in on for your local community and your neighborhood. Oftentimes, they're able to find the service provider or community organization that can help meet your needs.
All right. Well, I do want to thank Julie for calling in and asking that question. We get that question quite often about transportation services. That's really a big deal as our population ages here going forward. In the last few minutes here, Kari, and I got to have you back. This has been a lot of fun. But I do want to talk about National Caregivers Month and just the support you guys have for the caregivers who are essential for helping support our aging population.
They really are essential. And, I think what we find is the most important message to get out there is that probably all of us are caregivers in one way or another, that whether you're a family member, friend, neighbor, a community member of someone who needs a little bit of help, that you are a caregiver. So whether it is helping to shovel someone's sidewalk or give them a ride to church or maybe stop by with a meal, you are caregiving. And of course, there are so many family members who are providing hands-on assistance, on a day-to-day basis, or who are doing such essential work to support their older family member who maybe is experiencing memory loss, and really doing such important work to help them stay at home while they are aging and while they're experiencing that memory loss or maybe other chronic conditions. So know that you are a caregiver and there is help for you, whether that be the ability to take a break, which is called respite, or the access to a counselor or a caregiver consultation service, or if it's just help meeting the needs of your older family member or neighbor, that you can call also the senior linkage line at 1-800-333 2433 to find out what services and resources, maybe it's a class that you want to go to find out more about how to be a caregiver. And you can call that number and get direct access then to those services.
We only have a couple of minutes left. This show has gone by so fast. I really wanted to talk about what the Board on Aging is doing for about the future. And we need a whole other show here, Kari, because the Minnesota 2030 plan, which talks about the baby boomers turning 85 years old, that is such an important effort that's going on to try to make us all aware. But our legislatures, our politicians, our community people need to know about that. And we only have a minute left here. Can you just give us a quick commercial on the Board of Aging's Minnesota 2030 plan?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken. The board is so excited about this effort. We've been working in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Human Services and other state agencies and private partners to really focus in on what do we need to do as a state to really finish getting ready for the year 2030, which is when the baby boomers will begin turning 85 and is likely the age when you might be needing some help around the house or with your personal care. What the Board on Aging is really seeking to do is reimagining what our future can be with the fact that our state will be an older state, an older population. And what does that mean? Of course, it means need for services, but it also means that it's an opportunity for us to rethink how we provide that help to each other, what it means to be a part of community, and really working across generations to develop that new vision.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, we'll have you back to talk about that. That will be so much fun. So we are nearing the end of the show, folks, and I want to thank Kari Benson. She is the Executive Director of the Minnesota Board on Aging, and we have been talking about the great work that she and her organization does to ensure that older Americans are effectively served by state and local policies and programs in order for all of us to age well and live well. All right. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please feel free to contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation with Kari, or let us know of topics you'd like for us to discuss on future shows. You can reach us by phone or text at 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday at noon for another live broadcast, and thank you for listening to the Living Healthy and Aging Well show, where we talk about your health and your life. And until next time, live well.